Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lisa Damour.
Good morning. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to offer a few important thank yous. First, to the faculty and staff who have guided these graduates every step of the way. Thank you for your tireless devotion. To the families, friends, and loved ones who have cheered these students on, encouraged them during tough times, and celebrated every milestone, thank you for standing behind these wonderful young people. And most important, to the graduates, thank you for your hard work, your resilience, and the inspiration you bring to all of us here today. It is truly an honor to be part of this celebration. There are few moments in life more dedicated to thinking about your future and what your wishes are for it than your college graduation. This is complicated emotional territory. Yes, you may be feeling lots of excitement and delight for this party that is the celebratory graduation and commencement party. And alongside that, you may also be feeling some fear as you leave the now familiar routines of college and head off into unexpected and unfamiliar adventures. Or you might be worried that everyone else has this all figured out except for you. I want to be completely honest with you. I remember being pretty unhappy at my own graduation. Even then, I knew that I wanted to be a clinical psychologist. And that meant that before I could apply to graduate school, I would have to continue to develop my research skills. So while everyone seated around me seemed to be heading off to really cool jobs or very impressive medical, business, or law schools, I was already feeling left behind. I knew that when the ceremony was over, I'd be walking my half-dead plants from my dorm room to my crummy little teeny apartment and getting ready to continue to work as a research grunt in the exact same windowless lab that I'd been working in for the last year. Still feeling lousy about my own graduation, I attended my stepbrother's high school graduation a week later. There, the commencement speaker was a rabbi, and he told a story that I really needed to hear. It was about another rabbi from several centuries ago named Zhuzha, who, upon his deathbed, became very agitated. When his family asked him what was wrong, he said, "All my life, I've tried to be like Moses. All my life, I've tried to be like Abraham. And now I am worried that when I meet God, he won't say, 'Why weren't you Moses?' or 'Why weren't you Abraham?' He will say, 'Why weren't you Zhuzha?'" Oh, right, I thought to myself, sitting there with my family. I actually don't want to go to medical, business, or law school, though I have nothing against doctors, business people, and lawyers. What I want to do is be a psychologist. That is what I am meant to do. Almost instantly, I felt better than I had in a long while. And now, thanks to my training as a psychologist, I can look back on that moment and know why. It's because that rabbi's story took me out of comparing myself to others and wondering if I was doing the right thing in light of what they were doing. Instead, it put me in touch with my own sense of purpose. It connected me to something that was meaningful to me, and I hope meaningful to others. And having a sense of purpose, psychologists will tell you, is a central factor in well-being. Now, you'll notice that I said well-being, not happiness. In my work, I get to talk with young people about what they hope their futures will hold. An answer that I hear often is that whatever else they hope they will be happy. Now, there's nothing wrong with the wish to be happy. But as a psychologist, I can tell you that it's not the best use of your time to chase happiness. Why? Because so often the things that make us really happy are short-lived or outside of our control. Think of the joy of watching your favorite team pull off an upset win, or running into somebody you really like who you haven't seen for a while. So psychologists don't recommend the dogged pursuit of happiness, simply because it's just so unpredictable and fleeting. But we do spend a lot of time studying well-being, a general sense of feeling contented and fulfilled. And that is what I wish for each of you. So here's some great news. We know a lot about what leads to well-being. And interestingly, it's not actually what you might think. Most people assume that if they achieve professional or financial success, they'll enjoy a high level of well-being. While this doesn't rule out well-being, professional success on its own, the research tells us, doesn't contribute to it. So what does build well-being? It comes down to just a few things. A sense of purpose, good relationships, conscientiousness, and competence. Let me say those again. Having a sense of purpose, meaningful relationships, a principled approach to life, and being good at what you do. All of which is to say that the psychological science of well-being and the very values at the heart of your Jesuit education here at John Carroll University have been natural teammates all along. Every moment that you were invited to seek and stand for justice, to find strength and joy in community and companionship, or to strive for excellence, especially with the good of others in mind, or to do all of these things together, you were laying the foundation of your own well-being. With every call to reflect on your experiences, to evaluate your growth, to discern a path, and to take active responsibility in the world, you were already being pointed toward a gratifying and fulfilling life. Now there's one more thing I want to add on the matter of what over time will build and protect your well-being. And that's how you respond when things don't go well. What lies ahead for every one of you is a mixed bag. There's no getting around that fact. There will be good days, to be sure, and there will also be challenging ones. You will be turned down for a job you want, a dear friend will move away, you will be treated unfairly. In these moments, you will need to cope with painful emotions, and you will have two choices about how to do this. You will either cope in a way that brings relief and does no harm, or you will cope in a way that brings relief but comes with a cost. It has been an ongoing campaign of mine to help people remember that mental health and well-being are not, and never have been, about being happy. Rather, they are about accepting the emotions that come with our experiences, even the unwanted emotions that come with unwanted events, and handling those feelings well. Experiencing distress, like experiencing happiness, is part of being human. What matters is what you do next. My hope, of course, is that when distress comes your way, you will choose what psychologists call healthy coping. That's the kind that will help you to feel better and has no downsides. And that you will steer clear of what we call unhealthy coping, the kind that may help you feel better but has a cost attached. The list of unhealthy coping strategies is very short, and it is this list that you will want to avoid. It only has 3 things on it: taking your distress out on others, taking it out on yourself, or turning to substances for relief. Okay, some more good news. The list of what counts as healthy coping is very long. It includes, but is hardly limited to, talking about what you're feeling, getting some exercise, hanging out with friends, spending time in nature, having a good cry, fixing the problem if you can, praying, finding a brief happy distraction, helping others, getting a good night's sleep, and listening to music. Actually, music's a big one. I'm guessing that most of you have playlists that you love, and that some of those playlists have feelings names attached to them. I have a hobby of collecting playlist names from young people, and they include such titles as my sad and peaceful playlist, my crashing out playlist, my pure feminist rage playlist, And when it's time to get down to work, my lock-in or stand-on business playlist. If you sometimes rely on music to manage your emotions, you should know that psychological science has your back. In lab studies, we have proven what you have already discovered intuitively. Listening to mood-matching music, a sad playlist when you're feeling low, an angry playlist when you're mad, is highly cathartic. It helps us to move through and out of unwanted emotions. And above all, listening to music is an excellent example of healthy coping. That's because it brings emotional relief while doing no harm. Now, the long list of healthy coping options also includes practices that are quirky or very personal. For example, I vividly remember a teenager saying to me, "When I am having a terrible day, I rip up a sheet of paper into pieces and then I tape it back together like a puzzle." Good for her. If how you cope helps you feel better and has no price tag attached, you are doing it right. Here is what I can promise you. 10 years from now, your emotional health will not be determined by where you are living, how you spend your days, or even by how much money you have, so long as you can meet your needs. It will be determined by how you have coped with difficulty, how you have responded when tested by adversity. If on your hardest days you have coped in healthy ways, you will be in a good place. And you will be able to stay focused on your sense of purpose and on the people who matter to you. You will be able to be right with yourself and to do good work. As you are undoubtedly experiencing today, graduations like life come with a lot of feelings. Some of these may be deservedly joyful and celebratory, and others may be tinged with doubt, hesitation, and loss. But that's okay, because you can count on your John Carroll formation to steer you toward what you need to do. Pursue your purpose, build strong relationships, be guided by principles, and take your work seriously. And when you hit a bump in the road, be smart about how you cope with it. Class of 2025, I wish you not just happiness, but robust well-being in your next chapters. Congratulations on all you have already accomplished. We look forward to seeing all that you will do next.